It was one of the biggest token sales of 2018, but then had a disastrous token launch the following year. Which project am I talking about? Hedera. Drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about Hedera. Let me know where you think the price is going. Love to hear from you guys. Today's video will cover what the project is, what projects are in its ecosystem, whether the coin recovered from its disastrous token launch, and what the projected price action is. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at bencryptoshow. It's your first time here. I do daily videos covering mostly altcoin deep dives. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Let's dive. So what is it? Well, Hedera, formerly Hedera Hashgraph, they build themselves as a faster, cheaper, and more environmentally friendly blockchain competitor or alternative to blockchain. On the speed side, they can handle 100,000 transactions per second, which comes out to 6.5 million transactions per day. This is considerably faster than both Ethereum, can handle 1.2 million transactions per day, and Bitcoin, which can handle 300,000 transactions per day. Another difference is Hedera does not use any mining. They do this through a technology called directed acyclic graph. Also, Hedera does not involve any computational heavy proof of work. They do this through a complex system called acrimonious Byzantine fault tolerance. Hedera is not open source. This is another difference. So developers cannot patent it and create their own fork of the blockchain. So the way Bitcoin was forked into Bitcoin Cash or Ethereum was forked into Ethereum Classic, you cannot do that on Hedera. And the creators say they do this for security reasons and to make sure the network is always running smoothly. A similarity is that Hedera is coded in the Solidity language, which is the lesser known programming language that Ethereum is coded in. And a difference involves decentralization. A council of 19 multinational governors or corporations, individuals, whatever you want to call them, they run the nodes and they collectively gossip with each other and decide whether a transaction is passed through or rejected. So a lot of people say, is this decentralized or not? It is not decentralized in the sense that in some other blockchains, anyone can run a node. You can't do that. The 19 individuals are chosen by the company. But it is decentralized in that if it was just one governor running all the nodes and passing transactions through, that would be very centralized. This is 19. And again, the company does this to just make sure the blockchain always runs smoothly. And indeed, Hedera has very infrequently suffered for any hacks that I'm aware of or downtime. So let's check out some price and metrics action. Coin's ranked number 41 in terms of total market cap, with a market cap of 1.4 billion. So not a top 10 coin, but definitely a large cap coin. 42% of the coin supply is circulating. That's good. That means that's higher than normal, considering that the coin came out in 2019. I would expect a lot of coins to be already invested, so that is good. In terms of the trading, the depth, so I always look at this here to see how much you can slip in on a market trade to be not affected by slippage, and it's a lot, so it's a high volume coin. If you trade on Binance, you can slip $140,000 in at once without the price being affected by slippage. This is good. That means pretty much anyone of any investment size can trade here and not have to worry about thin volumes. Here's the price action. So it came out in September 2019. It kind of looks like Algorand's chart and some of the other kind of 10, 20, 30 ranked charts. So it's definitely above where it started. A lot of the altcoins around here would have sort of just faded away after a year or two. It wasn't like that. It sort of rode the wave in 2021 and then early 2022. Then it sort of faded a little bit since then, but it is still above the price point it launched on, so that's good. So I'd say this price action is kind of in line with the market price action, not any worse. Exchanges, so there are Binance, Gates, KuCoin, Bittrex, Bitstamp, Huobi, Mexi, Crypto.com, what else? OKX. So there are most of the big ones. The only big ones they're not on are FTX, Coinbase, and BitHum. Now, the Fundraise that's one thing that sort of separated this project from others. So they did a huge fundraise in 2018, as I mentioned, $100 million raised. It was a public sale, but it was mostly from institutional raises. So they didn't do like a big VC sale. They did a public sale, but credentialed institutional sort of medium and large cap investors. So here it is. Now, the return, it's not all that high, so the return on investment from the ICO price, negative 46%. So the coin's trading at about 6 cents now. The price 12 cents then. So if you've held your coins the whole time, then you've lost money. But at an all-time high, it was up 372%. So that's still pretty good right there. Now, one problem this coin had was the first day it hit exchanges, the first week, it was sort of a disaster. This is September 2019. So if you look, the public sale was in August 2018. So it was a full year, 13 months before it hit exchanges, and the coin nuked big time. It went specifically from 26 cents down to about 2.5 cents in a full week. That's a 90% decrease. So this was kind of a disaster when it happened, and then it leveled out afterwards. It did climb back up. That's the good news. So if you held, you did make money, but still, nobody wants a 90% drop in the first week. So what happened here was basically they just waited a little too long to get on exchanges. Generally, when you do a public sale, the coin hits exchanges 3, 4, 5 months later. I remember when this happened, they waited a full year, and it was a big public sale, $100 million. So there was a lot of money and a lot of investors just getting restless. They wanted to get their coins on exchanges. They wanted to cash out. They didn't know if the project was ever going to hit exchanges. And by the time it finally did, 13 months later, way longer than normal, investors were just reckless, and a lot of them just sold immediately, and the coin just nuked big time. Obviously, the vesting schedule probably needed a little bit of work too. It seemed like a lot of coins, more coins than normal, became unvested right at the token generating event. But it's not all bad. As mentioned, the coin was able to regain to 42 cents, well above the token price it launched at 26 cents. Let's look at the team. So they're based in Dallas, Texas. That's where the headquarters is. Then they have typical employees in San Francisco, Miami, New York, Boston, Virginia. So standard sort of US-based crypto team, hybrid team members all over the place. So it's founded by these two guys, Lehman Baird and Mance Harmon. So they both have sort of hardcore computer science backgrounds. One of them has a PhD in computer science. The other has a master's in computer science. They have about 3 decades of experience running companies between them, and just hardcore computer science. So they don't come from a crypto background. They come from a computer science background. This is a little like Algorand was. Reminds me of that project. That's been very successful too. So this business model does work here. Now, one thing to watch for is about 5 months ago here in April of 2022, the two co-founders, Mr. Harmon and Mr. Baird, actually left the company. They resigned from their roles as CEO, specifically, if you can read this, to just work at Swirled Labs. So Swirled Labs, that's the company they both founded and run. That is the incubator company that incubates all the projects on the Hedera ecosystem. And when they left Hedera, so they're not totally leaving the Hedera ecosystem. They just want to work with the smaller projects. And they are saying that they're not going to rehire any new CEOs to replace these people. So this might have just been sort of a cost-saving move. Sometimes when a project has this, executive departures, it's a red flag. I don't see this here because they're still staying within the ecosystem. Now let's look at ecosystem and partnerships. So they sort of divide their projects into 6 main categories here. There's payment coins, cross-chain swaps, that's normal. Then fraud mitigation, identity verification, and data compliance. Those 3 kind of fit together. And then permission blockchains. That's blockchains that want to build on top of their blockchain. Now, in terms of DeFi, they're not quite as heavy as other projects. They're only number 54 in terms of total value locked. That's not really that big, considering they're the number 41st biggest market cap coin out there. So it's not really a DeFi coin. Their biggest DeFi project is something called Saucer Swap, which appears to just be your typical sort of staking, farming, cross-chain swap, sort of hybrid DeFi platform. That has, I think, about 17 million or 15 million in total value locked right there. So we've definitely seen other blockchains of equal size that are much more involved in DeFi. But they are involved in other stuff. Maybe drink of water here. They've been aggressively targeting the metaverse and NFT space. In 2021, they partnered with a company called Metaverse, a web-based 3D creation platform to support metaverse apps. They also partnered with Ubisoft, that's a French gaming giant, to develop games in the Hedera ecosystem. That was in 2021 as well. Then they have some big name partnerships right here. They partnered with Google and IBM to both be on their governance council. That's the 19 governance council that runs the nodes and approves all the transactions going across the nodes. So it doesn't get bigger than that, Google and IBM. And then additionally, they partnered with London School of Economics and then the famed Indian Institute of Technology to also join the Hedera Governance Council. So if you like the big names in terms of partnership, So yeah, that's it there. I definitely think Hedera is a good long-term hold, a good safe project, very credentialed team, very trustworthy, a lot of partnerships with big name trusted organizations in the corporate world and the academic world. Hedera's token price has performed pretty well in line with the market, and considering that a lot of the coins have already become unvested, there's not going to be too much dumping going on in the future. That's it for today. Ben Crypto signing out. Back tomorrow with a new episode.